In this video, I'm going to show you how you can block your trickle vents on your UPVC windows. So if you have modern windows, there's a good chance that they have one of these trickle vents located along the top here. So you pull this flap down and it's intended to allow some air to flow down to help stop condensation. And once you close it, it should stop the air from flowing down. But I found on two separate homes now that these trickle vents are really poorly designed. So even once this is closed, I can feel cold air coming down. And I can even hear some low level noise coming through them as well. So there is a simple way you can block these. Now, a lot of people may be tempted to put expanding foam inside the actual vents, which is a bad idea in my opinion, as that may void the warranty of the window. Plus you won't be able to get it back out again. So there is a simple solution by just using tape. So what I'm going to use here is actually called aluminium foil tape. So this tape is specifically designed to help retain heat, and it's also can withstand moisture and extreme cold and extreme heat, etc. So this tape is ideal to use to block your vents. This tape costs around £4.50 to £5 per roll, depending on where you buy it from. I think the cheapest place I saw it was Tool Station, £4.50. And the good thing about this stuff is it's got a sticky back paper on the back, so you can actually cut this to size rather than just peeling it off and kind of patching it up and so on. So I recommend you buy this foil tape. Like I said, it's pretty cheap, £4.50, £5, and it does the job perfectly. So rather than struggle and try and put the tape while the flap is still on, I recommend you remove the flap. Now, removing this flap is pretty simple. There's just two screws, one up here and one over the other side. You may need to pull a little flap down by here to access the screws. So you can see there, I can access the screws, and here. So it's just a Phillips screw, so unscrew the flap. So I've now removed the flap, which took me all of 30 seconds. And you can see there's quite two large holes where they cut out the plastic, which allows the air to flow through. And there's a couple of holes here for the screw holes. So that's what it looks like. And one of the main reasons why these flaps never work properly is that the actual plastic itself is not perfectly level, so it doesn't have a perfect seal once you close the flap. So that's one of the reasons why these things allow in so much cold and so much noise. So you can see this is what it looks like. It's literally just a small piece of foam which is supposed to stop the cold air coming in, which really doesn't work. So with this foil tape, like I said earlier, you can cut it the size because it's got a sticky back on it, paper back. Just get your scissors and cut it to size. So I recommend that you cut it roughly the same size as the actual vent flap. So I'm just going to cut it to this the actual dark area. So I'm going to cut it to the same size as that, and then stick it across here. So to cut this foil tape to the precise size I need, and to try and make it as square as possible, I'm going to use the actual vent flap as a template. So again, ideally I want it to be a little bit smaller than the vent, so it doesn't show when I put it back up. So I just put the vent down as straight as possible, and then I'm going to use a pair of scissors or a knife. I'm just going to go along the tape and just make a little line so I can then cut it nice and cleanly. So you can probably see that I've just made a small line across the foil tape with a pair of scissors. So I can then just cut that now with the scissors, and hopefully it'll be as straight as possible. So I've now cut it and it looks just like that. So it's pretty straight and it's the correct size. If it is slightly too big or too small, I can start again if I want to. So if all the vents in your house are exactly the same size, you can just cut these to size and stick them in all the vents in your home. So next step is just peel the paper back off this foil tape and stick it up there, and I should be good to go. Okay, I've now attached the foil tape in place. You can see it's a nice tight fit, so you can actually see the marks where the vents were. So just make sure it's pressed on nice and firm. So this tape should last you decades, ideally. It is designed to last decades, so there shouldn't be any problems with it peeling off or anything like that. So once that's in place, the next step is to naturally put the vent back in place. So where's the vent? Here's the vent. So the vent obviously goes back on the way it came off. So just make sure it's the right way. So if you're not sure what way it goes on, just check a vent in your house and you should notice which way the flaps come out. So I've now put the vent flap back in place, and as you can see, if I look underneath, you can see the foil tape, so it's nicely cut to size. And if I do actually close the vent, you can see that none of the foil tape is exposed around here, so it's a perfect fit. So now, once I put my hand there, I can't feel any draft coming through. The noise reduction is also reduced slightly, not by much, but slightly. So really, it's as simple as that. And this tape, like I said earlier, it should last you decades. It is designed to last a long time. So if for any reason you do get condensation or you need to remove the tape, just remove the flap, peel it off, and you're good to go. So it's really that simple. Thanks for watching.